was good, and Cancun was wonderful.
Yes, it was the first time. We never been southern of San Diego, so it was our first time they went south.
Oh, good for them. Good for them.
Yes, it was fun. Yes, it was 80 degrees, 80 plus. They went to the swimming in the sea, beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah,
They had a good time.
they had a good
Good
time.
for them. Good. We won't see 80 for 7, 8 months.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's gonna. Tomorrow's not gonna be bad, but after that.
Cold.
But we don't have snow, do we? No.
I think I was just looking, yes.
I saw something that maybe, yeah, a little bit maybe. Yeah.
So how was yours? What did you do?
We stayed home. My daughter surprised us. She was supposed to work and her schedule got changed, and my son came over. So 2 of the 3 and some neighbors. It was very nice.
Yeah.
No cake, nothing fancy. Just the turkey and mashed potatoes and everything else. And
That's enough.
it was good. I count my blessings. Count my blessings.
It's I like Thanksgiving because it's regardless of anything else. It's
Yes.
not
I agree.
religious. It's not. It's pure family, and it's just one time.
Yep.
You really feel you have to thank something, and
I agree.
I like it. It's my favorite.
You don't have to worry about what to buy somebody. If they fit, do they like it? Just show up with food. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's true.
It's good. We're not on, right?
I have it on the video, but I don't.
Okay. Well, that's all right. That's all right. Just chilling. We're just chewing the fat. Just chewing the fat. I was watching a little football last night in Buffalo, and they just got blasted. It was impressive to see. It was dumping down.
This is for Noah. Let me go somewhere else.
I just put the kids there because I just figured they should be.
Yeah. It's fair. They're very nice. And Phil's deer hunting, right? He's hunting, I think.
Might want to get a little closer. I don't know who's all going to show up. I think it's you responded, Kevin did. Maya she's not coming now. And then Jerry, and then the kids. Robert didn't respond, so.
This is our last meeting.
Yes, until February.
You have to apply. How do you want to do it this year?
No, I have to send out emails. So I'll get there.
Okay.
I just.
It's easier to talk sometimes than email.
So everybody comes back next year? Is that how it works? Or do they have to, do we ask?
Rec is a year term. So
Okay.
every year I'll send out an email
Gotcha.
to all the members, and then they let me know if they're still interested in another year.
Gotcha.
And then that information gets passed on to council.
Gotcha.
And then they can pick someone else, or they can reappoint you.
Gotcha.
So
Awesome.
yeah.
Good to know. Hey, how are you?
Oh, doing good.
How was your trip to?
How was your holiday?
Good, how's yours?
Good. Very good. Very good.
Last time I saw you, you were going somewhere, yes, or previously? Florida, yes. It was between last time and this time, yes? Or it was September, okay.
Here, how are you? Terrific. In December. I'm terrific. Yeah? Cold too. Yes.
I need gloves.
Yes.
I have gloves on.
Don't have enough cash.
It's so cold out
A lot
there.
of cash. How's Carol doing? With all those days? You had off? Thanksgiving and all?
Yeah, only a 4-day weekend, early weekend.
Nice.
So, did wrestling start? Were you guys in a tournament? I haven't followed the sports page.
Practice started, first tournaments this weekend.
School's here.
Oh, really?
Here.
some,
Laura's here.
why did some
Silla's on the
schools
phone.
open on this Thursday? And they've
It's-
already
We
been
need
at
one more
tournament.
for
Just the way the schedule works. Our schedule isn't that way.
Wow.
Gary's here. So we need Robert.
Priscilla, you still there?
We need Robert.
Are you gonna be,
Okay, great, thank you.
You're not gonna be wrestling at the
Mine
same
couldn't
weight
make it,
class,
Sean
are
couldn't
you?
make it, and Phil couldn't make it.
No, I went out.
She just canceled.
Well,
She got sick at the last minute.
I'm not a
So
wrestling
I'm
fan,
sure
I'm a
Robert will be here.
basketball fan,
So is
but
Phil.
I'm gonna ask my nephew,
I would've
who's the
texted
coach
him,
at Easton,
because I know he doesn't
to,
check the
yeah,
email often,
Easton
he
Tennis
says.
He'll be
Club,
here. He'll be here.
when your
You had a nice
best
holiday?
match is.
Yes.
Us?
No, I mean you.
Oh,
Best
me.
matchup
That
you
was
have.
very nice of you. For the
What
schoolhouse.
team would it be? Or is it hard to say?
Making our rounds this summer.
Palmerton?
That's so cute. It's such a
That
nice
would be
thing to
your
have in the
best
town,
match.
you know? It's so neat. So neat.
It's hard to say because not
Hey,
all
Omar.
schools have wrestling, so I don't know who exactly is at my weight,
Oh.
but
How are you?
maybe
You have cold hands,
Palmerton
too.
It's like
or
20
Northwestern.
So what weight class did you wrestle?
Father, how was your
160.
holiday?
160.
Was it good?
I can try to
It
choke.
was good. Over 8 like everybody else, but it was good. What do you guys have?
Who's
Three more weeks?
Who's your nephew?
When are you off?
Not sure, 'cause I
Reed.
didn't do that.
Yeah,
2.5. Like,
11
good.
days.
I know, I got the countdown.
his
from
son's
Mary,
their
so
best
I
wrestler.
have 10 school
His
days,
son?
they already said,
So that would,
uh,
yeah, his son's their best wrestler. It's like 139. Evan.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a lot of good compliments to say about you. But I didn't see him at Thanksgiving, so couldn't get any inside information.
Just waiting for one more member to have
Yep.
quorum.
Robert will be here, I bet. We'll give him a couple minutes.
So I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Were you gonna sing Christmas carols today?
Only if you lead. Yes.
I'm a good follower.
Sing loud and proud.
I was gonna show you a picture, Gary, but I'm not gonna find it. It was like from 15 years ago at the homestead. Popped up the other day. They all looked like young. Pretty close on this survey.
I think we are. Yeah, a couple of real good feedback points. I'd like to talk about that if we have a quorum tonight. Push that over the top, I think.
Peter?
Yeah. What's new in the high school?
So today was the first day back of school.
A lot of kids out for hunting or not? Not
No.
like it used to be. No, it's Saturday now.
I just read a big deal about how they changed the day for working people and other people that used to plan like to go away for the weekend now they don't go away.
It's a big change. Yeah.
I didn't hear too many gunshots on Saturday. Either they weren't trying or didn't bother.
We're not recording, right, Carol? Not yet?
No, I don't have the audio on.
We had, I woke up the other day and my neighbor's telling me that somebody's in our field at night poaching. That wasn't
Night?
good. Yep.
Yeah, that's not, I don't like
That's not
that.
good.
When I hear a shot at night, like,
And I woke up the other day to let the cat out. It was like
you
2 in
can't
the morning.
tell
It was a
where
single
it
shot.
came
It was
from
like,
to begin with, yeah.
plinking at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, and even, with calling the game commissioner, they're not gonna find anybody in the dark.
No,
You don't know where.
no, I just can't, they can't be doing that, though, that's not right. That's not right. There's enough of them out during the day, come on, work it.
Try to call off.
I don't want him getting his car and come over, I don't want, you know.
There was a no.
Phil's a no, Sean's a no. I couldn't make it late, and so,
Hi, Bob. Are you coming to the meeting? Did you? For tonight, for the Parks and Rec? Yeah, 'cause we,
Carol, is Diane Powell still doing,
we don't have a quorum, 'cause Maya
doing all
was
this
out
stuff?
here at the last second, we don't have a quorum.
Stop.
She does for council.
This council? Who does this?
David,
Oh,
Why?
God bless you.
he forgot, but
Okay.
can you come?
I guess we don't have a choice now, do we? Now you called.
Well,
What do you want me
we
to
could
say,
both
no?
all go home and do that.
No, I don't think we have, whatever,
Well, we can hang out,
we,
if you're
whatever,
okay
if he
with
wants to,
that, then.
can you do it, can you call in? Just make it easy? How's that?
You know what, maybe we could have you
Yeah.
call in as well.
can.
I have Priscilla on already.
Oh, so anyway,
Well, I can do him
Whatever
on the
you-
phone too, I'll do him on
can,
the
can,
phone.
can he just be on speaker? On
Can we?
Laura's phone?
Yeah, you know what, we'll put you on, I'll just leave this phone call open and put you on speakerphone. And then you don't have to.
All right, like that.
It's on holiday. I'm gonna put you on speakerphone now, so don't say anything bad.
All right, are we on? Miss Carol, we on?
You are now, yes.
All right, let's call the meeting to order. I appreciate everybody making it tonight. Everybody had a nice
Laura,
Thanksgiving.
can you put him in front of the microphone?
Well,
You need to be a little.
if he talks.
All right, we'll start the meeting. Again, I want to just thank everyone for coming tonight. We have Kevin McGovern is here, Nilo's here, Robert is on the phone. Robert, thank you very much for joining us. Jerry's here.
Can Robert speak so that we can hear it? And Priscilla will have to too.
I can hear you.
Thank you, Robert. Laura Ray is here. Priscilla, you're on the phone?
Yes.
Wonderful. Cole, Noah, Violet, thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's where we are. And Miss Carol is here as well. Let's stand and say pledge allegiance to start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
United States of America
and
and
to
to
the
the
republic
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Perfect. Okay. This is good. We will ask for an approval of the minutes from the November 4th meeting. At that meeting, we talked about several key points. We talked about the Kingston Park cleanup of the garden. We will do that in the spring because the ground was so hard. We talked about, Cole updated us on the baseball game that was played in the new field. That was a once and done, as we said. We did follow up, I did follow up with the town, with Kathy at the council, or I'm sorry, at the township, about 2 suggestions that we would move the portable facility at the baseball park over to the other side, and I saw that was done. I went by there the other day, and that was nice, just make it another 100 yards closer. And then we also talked about having a different unit that would have water in it for the larger games. And Kathy said that they're considering that, and she was nothing but responsive, so that was good. For Kathy, she's great. So that got addressed. We talked about the park survey, which we're gonna talk about tonight. Jerry talked to us about the connection of the trail to Bethlehem, and I think that was it. So, any corrections or additions to the minutes? Okay, can I have a motion to approve? Jerry motions to approve. A second?
I second.
Thank you very much. Any other conversations? Okay, minutes will stand as approved. Thank you very much. We have no presentations tonight. Any comments, concerns, or anything that the junior council members want to bring forward? Anything on your mind? Okay, all right, appreciate that. We have no citizen items and we have no special event applications. As far as the park updates, I will be happy to go forth. Southeastern and Kingston, I have nothing new to report from the last time. Jerry, how's the Easton ball field and the Easton Road ball field, and how's the rail trail?
Easton Road ball field, the final payment.
Can you talk in the microphone, Jerry?
Final payment was made at the last
You have to
council
turn it on.
approved.
There you go. Thank you.
The final payment for the ball field was made at the last council meeting approval. The only thing in addition to that, there's a bond of about, I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, Priscilla, I think it's 20% that it's being held. I think it's for 12 months or maybe 16 months.
All I know is, oh,
Priscilla, we couldn't hear you. Could you repeat that?
I said I only know. Did you hear that?
No, we did not. We hear the first 3 words and then you cut out.
Okay, I took it off. Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's a little better. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so all I know is that it's an 18-month maintenance period. I don't know anything about the bond. I'm sorry, I don't.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. Anything else on the Easton ball field, Jerry?
Yeah, probably, and I think I brought it up last time. The only concern I have is the sod on the infield. The sod on the infield, when they laid it down in patches and tried to butt the sod, it didn't take at different spots. I think they brought it up at council, and I think it's going to be reviewed further. Is that right, Priscilla?
We did bring it up.
They wrote it. There's going to be that.
Yeah, well, it's something we have. Something that we have to keep an eye on it next spring to see how it develops.
Right. Thank you, Lord.
Probably the other thing is open space property was discussed at the last council meeting. And I know it's all confidential, but at this point it appears to me as if they may be trying to acquire an adjacent, they may be looking to acquire an adjacent piece of property that abuts the field. I hope it is, and I hope it's approved, because there's going to be a need for parking at that field. There presently is only about 32, 34 parking spots there. Those parking spots will get filled in a hurry by 2 baseball teams and parents. It'll get filled in very little time. So there's probably going to be a need for more parking out at that field.
If I may, the coaches that, and I don't know the names, I apologize for that, said that the church is allowing teams on their lot for games.
So the church is allowing other people to park there if needed.
That's what we were told. I don't know
Right.
who confirms that.
Do you know, Laura, if there's to Jerry's point, if there's a initiative to look at an additional purchase around the baseball field? Or if that's something you can't comment on?
We're not supposed to comment on
Don't
our
comment?
open space properties. but-
Okay, don't do that then. Okay, all right. Jerry, anything else on the ball field or the Saucon Trail?
Saucon Rail Trail, conditions look fine. It's probably the park, out of all the parks that we have, it's probably the park that's used the heaviest, right?
Yep.
And it continues to be used heavy even in the winter months. The only other thing to report on the trail is there's an effort by a Hellertown group to again at the Water Street gates, Water Street and the rail trail. They hang on the gates scarves, gloves, hats, and stuff, and it's been well received, and they plan to do that again this year. No update on the connection between the rail trail and the greenways that I'm aware of, unless Priscilla knows something.
Priscilla, you haven't heard anything about the Greenway connection to the Bethlehem, to the existing trail?
Just what I read in the paper, and
Priscilla, we just heard you say just what you read in the paper. Anything else?
no.
No. Okay. All right. All right. Jerry, anything else you want to comment on?
I have a question on the Easton Road ball field. Now, we paid, the construction of that was $3.5 million. And I'm wondering, are we gonna, I think I know the answer. Are we gonna allow walk-ons to just use that field when it's not being used by leagues? So if you want a group of guys, group of players want to play baseball, can they use that field? I know at the softball field here, we allow people to go on, and I'm just wondering if we're going to do the same out at Easton Road ball field, given the amount of money that we spent to complete that project.
I would imagine it's a
assume so.
public park,
Yeah.
so if it's not scheduled, I don't see how you could tell kids they couldn't play baseball there.
I would agree. I would think it's an open park. There's
Right.
it's not gated.
I don't know how they
It's
would
not
know though
locked.
when the scheduling, Is
Yeah,
that something on a
I
calendar
don't, I
online?
brought it up only because someone asked me. And I said, good question. I said, I would imagine you could, but I said, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a public park, so.
Yeah, I think we'd be okay.
Park, but it's scheduled.
Right, but it's not gonna be every single day, every single hour. so I could imagine there's some empty times, right?
Well, Hellertown Lower Saucon Little League usually does a blanket request, which takes up all the time.
Gotcha, okay, all right. Jerry, anything else?
No, that's.
You're good, all right, I appreciate the update. Thank you. Milo, anything on the parks you're looking at? No, you're good, okay. All right. Anything else on the parks? Okay,
The water fountain at Polk Valley for the dogs has been shut down for the winter.
okay, a sure sign of winter, right, Robert?
Yeah, well, they said they had to do that because the frost-free ones kept getting broken, so they put one in that was not frost-free. And they did say that before it got to that point, they would lock it out to protect it. So yeah, that has been done.
Awesome. Is the pickleball court done, Robert?
I haven't been up there to check on it, but the word was that from Kathy, when I spoke to her, that was not going to be completed until next spring when it warmed up again. That they had put the macadam in and it was too late to get in there and paint it. They were going to wait till next spring.
Logical approach. Logical approach. All right. Robert, anything else about Polk Valley?
Not to my knowledge.
All right.
Haven't had anybody complain or call me up.
That's a good thing, right? All right.
It's a good thing.
All right. We have a request to look at our meeting times in 2025, and they're attached to what we have, our packets in front of us. As is tradition, there's no meeting in January, and there's no meeting in July. Our meeting is going to be February 3rd, March 3rd, and April 7th here at the township. And then we got positive comments last year about meeting at the parks, and this year we have May 5th at the Easton Ball Field, June 2nd at the San Diego Community Rec area, and then we're in Steel City in August, and then September, the Saucon Rail Trail. So it kind of mixes it up from what we did last year, and then in October, November, and December, we come back to the township. Does this make sense to folks? Any input, corrections?
Yeah, how do we know May 5th is gonna be a good day to go to Eastern Road Ball Field? What if there's a game scheduled there?
If there's we'll have to look at that and see, and if there is, we'll make an adjustment. No problem. You know, I bet you, depending on the size of the game, we might still be able to meet. And we always, like last year, we look at the weather, and if it's gonna be a thunderstorm day or a rainy day, we'll just change it or, you know, come back here. We'll look ahead to the weather.
Generally, what I do, when things are approved like this for parks, I'll go ahead and I'll reserve those dates, those times. So nobody else can go on the field or use the pavilion at that time.
Okay.
And if this would interfere with the game, we can obviously sit on the side.
That's fine.
Or we can change it up. That's, you know, those were just parks that I rotated. I figured Easton Road would be another one to go back to and check
Absolutely.
out. But the others haven't been on the rotation for a year or so.
I like your list, Carol. I think it's good. I like your approach to it.
But we can always revisit.
I think it looks good. We okay with this? Everybody's good?
Yes.
All right, very good. All right, wonderful, wonderful. Let's talk about the park survey. For a moment. I have copies here if you want to hand these down. Robert and Priscilla, I know you can't see this. I did send this in an email. Got some feedback from this. Overall, a positive. Laura Ray had said that we could get rid of question number 1, in that you will have that with which parks you visited in 2024, the list. So I think that made a lot of sense. Maya had said we would put the favorable to least favorable to most favorable, which we can do, and we can make that adjustments. And I thought there was one other one. Phil said we can use SurveyMonkey, and Carol and I talked about that prior to the meeting, that we can use SurveyMonkey to send this out. So at this point, we start out with, did you visit the park with children? I think that gives a sense of who's using the park. Did the park meet your needs? Which park did you visit in 2024? Which park did you visit the most in 2024? Just to kind of sense of what people used. Please rate the park you visited, 1 being your least favorite and 7 being your most favorite of the year. And this is where we really want to, I think, get into the meat of it. What additional improvement, recreation options, and otherwise would you like to see made? What would you like the Park and Rec Committee to focus on in 2025? What would be your #1 suggestion on how to improve the parks in Lower Saucon? I know that's a little redundant on number 7, but I'm trying to get people to answer and say, hey, what do they think of what would make things better? And then again, the last is an open question. Any additional thoughts or suggestions related to the parks? I am open to all suggestions. This is a team effort here. I'd be interested in what people think at this point.
Priscilla's calling me.
Yeah, you know what, because I was gonna call her, but I called Bob.
Jerry?
Maybe if you put her on your speaker.
It's Priscilla. Can you ask Priscilla to call me back?
Or you can
No,
put
we
it near
can-
your speaker.
Priscilla, we can hear you pretty well.
You're on Jerry's phone now. We'll leave you on Jerry's phone.
See,
And
I
Robert,
got
I'm
a
on-
cheap phone. Mine works.
All right, we're gonna put you
Perfect.
next to Bob,
I like it. That works. It all works.
the virtual audience.
So any comments, changes, any suggestions? Again, what's the goal here? The goal is to get feedback from the community to see what they think, what could be enhanced to meet the needs of our community members. That's what this is about. If we hear nothing but positives, that's fine. If we hear suggestions, that's fine too. We would bring them back to this committee and say, hey, we heard X, Y, and Z. We all have contacts in the community. We all have friends and neighbors, and we talk about the parks, but this is our effort to reach out and see what people think.
I have a question about the SurveyMonkey, since
Sure.
I've used it as a participant, but does it limit a person to only do the survey once?
Do the survey once, yes.
Yeah, like the same person couldn't,
Yes.
you know, like, on American Idol or whatever, they can vote 10 times or something. So, you know, so you don't have like one person for some reason trying to say they want a golf course or whatever.
So Jerry
100
couldn't vote
times.
1,000 times for a dome
Yeah,
over the ball field?
Whatever. Just curious.
All right. All right. That's a good question. All right. Any suggestion? Milo, any changes you see?
What was your suggestion? I wasn't listening. I was
#1
Oh,
should
it's
go
just-
away.
number 1.
Yeah, we don't need #1 because
Right.
we'll know when they answer #4.
Do you want like have a 10 questions? Do you have some, or do you care about the number of the questions?
I don't care.
Because to me, 4, 5, 6, I answer them and I look at it as a citizen. So I go to Town Hall and Polk Valley mainly because it's close to my home. I cannot rate, for number 6, I don't go to Still City because it's far from me, so I'm gonna
Okay.
put number 7.
So do you want to say, that's a good point, do we want to say, just rate the parks that you visited?
Well, you can
What's your
only
goal for rating? What do you want to get from that rating? Based on, for me, it's just convenient. My kids go there and play.
Point.
If I live in Still City, they will go there. So it's okay. It's not just a big deal, but the rest are okay. It just, I don't know what we would get from those questions.
Okay. We could, again, the idea is to solicit feedback from the community. If the rating system, if I visited 3 parks and I say, I really like Polk Valley, the town park, and Southeastern 1, 2, 3, if you got enough of a response, you could say, well, that was our most popular park. What will you do with that? That's a fair question. That's a fair question.
But how? I mean, for me, it just, I'm right here, so the,
So it's the convenience
the
that's making it.
convenience, and it just, they have more activities for, young adults and kids. So I'm not gonna go to, Heller Home still because there's nothing there. So you are getting, maybe you get low feedback or low score for that, but they're as important as.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah, because you wouldn't rate Heller Homestead high because it's not a priority for you and your families. But I might rank it high, but it doesn't. Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Fair enough. So you want
to get a better handle on that, why not just put a question in there? How many parks do you visit a year? Or how many of our parks have you visited, whatever. And that way, when we get the feedback, we can say, well, they only visited one. So, yeah, of course, it's their favorite. It's.
Okay. Robert, it's a good point. We have that. Which park did you visit in 2024? But I like the comments about number 6 coming off. So I just think we strike it. What do you folks think? You guys are good?
That's good.
Okay. All right. Any other comments on this?
If we can get people to give some
That's what you really want, that,
Yes.
the suggestions at the bottom.
written
I
answers.
think you overlooked the most used park. Why isn't Saucon Rail Trail on here? And why wouldn't we put the Easton Road Ball Field on here?
The Easton Road Raw Field, that was a conscious decision because that was not open.
But
So you
nobody
can't,
had it, yeah.
you can't ask for that, but the rail trail is a miss and we'll put that on here. That's a good pickup.
When is this?
Could you repeat that about the rail trail?
Well, it's not one of the choices to pick.
No, I think we put the rail trail on. I like that. That's a good point, Chair.
It will be.
Yep, I like that a lot. And the ball field.
Why wouldn't we put the ball field on here? Because
it wasn't open. It hasn't opened yet. So we had one.
When is this gonna be going out?
Hopefully real soon.
I would assume, I would hope, we could talk about that. Carol and I will talk after this, and hopefully we'll get it out in December, and then we come back in February, and we should have the results of it and say, this is what we're gonna talk about. So the ball field I left off because it just wasn't open. Okay. Any other comments? Robert, you good with this?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, thanks, bud. All right, we good? Okay, Carol and I will work offline and we'll get this out on SurveyMonkey. If anyone else has any other ideas that come to them, please let us know.
Yeah, so SurveyMonkey and also,
Has to go to,
do we have a newsletter date yet? No, but
I'm trying to work on it, that's all I can say.
it was in the next cold months period though, right?
Well, I mean,
December, January.
I was hoping to get it out before the holiday, but it's not looking that way.
Yeah, so we could hopefully.
But the link can go out. It depends on what kind of time frame are you looking for this?
I'd like to have the results, and I say this as a question, not as a statement. I would think we'd want to have the results for the February meeting.
Okay.
That we come back in February, and you could debate, it's getting busy now with the holidays, how much time are people gonna devote to it? Is it better to send it out now? I don't think there's a time frame that you have to.
Is there like a 2-week time frame that you want the link out there so that people can access it?
Probably longer.
I mean, you don't wanna go a month, that's
Too long? I don't know, I would say a few weeks. Let me ask you this, when you've done this in the past, has a 2-week time frame been enough?
2 weeks? Yeah.
I would think no less than 2 weeks.
It'll go out on Constant Contact,
Yeah.
the information, the link, it'll go on Facebook. You can keep posting it on Facebook. So as long as it gets out there and people respond to it, then, we'll put it on the website.
Do you think it's?
I need to know like a time frame that you want to do, if you want to do it for 2 weeks, if you want to do it for 3 weeks.
What do folks think?
I would do 3,
Laura says 3?
yeah.
Jerry, 3? You're good, right? All right. Why don't we go 3 weeks? Now, the question's gonna be, understanding today's December 1st, and we're butting up against the holiday, the Christmas holiday. Is it better to do this in January, after the first of the year, or try to squeeze it in before Christmas? And I know everybody's starting to get busy with the holidays and shopping and everything else. What do you think? I'm thinking maybe January, after the first of the year, or if we can get it up in the next week, we can make a run. I don't think it makes any sense to have it up the week of Christmas. That just doesn't seem. Let's go January. Let's get it out. You and I can talk about it.
Yeah, because we still gotta get,
Promote it
who's
and all
gonna
that,
give
and
the
then same
blessing
January.
on our questions are pretty okay. I don't know if we,
Yeah, I think it does have to go before council.
so we can do it at our next council meeting, not the one this week.
Okay. So why don't we bring it to the next council meeting, and if everything is approved, then we run it in January for 3 weeks, and then we'll have the results, and we'll talk at our February meeting, and we'll have, hopefully some good information. What do you guys think? Make sense? Yep. Robert, make sense?
I think it's good to wait.
All right, thank you. And then what we'll do, and I think at that meeting as well, we'll look at the revised wish list. We might get some information from the survey that we want to add to the wish list, so we'll defer that. I think that's what we said at our last meeting, which I think was Nyla's suggestion, so. That brings us to the end. Anything else that we want to talk about today? Robert, you're good?
I'm good.
I appreciate you getting on the phone. That is good that we got a meeting, Laura. That was a good idea on your part.
Again, I apologize. It just got to be a busy day. My wife ended up having to go to the doctor's today. I had to go up and watch my granddaughter because she was off school, and it totally slipped my mind.
Well, it all worked out in the end, so. Well, with that said, we will adjourn the meeting. I just want to say thank you very much. I thought it was a successful year. I enjoyed working with everyone, and I wish everyone a happy holiday season, and we'll see, hopefully everyone will come back in February.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you,
Have a good
everyone.
holiday.
Thank you, Priscilla.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Sure, go ahead. Thank you. That was good.
Yeah.
That was smart. Smart.